NyanCave!
Hey, hi.
Hello!
I hope you guys had a good weekend.
Did you enjoy your Saturday? Nothing happened. I took that time to do introvert shit. Yeah, introvert shit. Also, there's gonna be a little hiatus on intros just because I got new tummy medication and it messes with your brain. So I'm gonna see how that goes. And then if things look fine, they'll be back. But for now, we're gonna take a little break.
Cool. And Jack! Thanks, Jack.
Thanks, Jack!
I don't know if you had a message or if YouTube ate it, because it's not in chat either, but
I'm gonna make up a message.
Oh.
Hello, NyanCave. I absolutely love Ace Attorney. My favorite character
It's Phoenix
is
Wright.
Eenie Meenie. She's the best. I think she should come back for the sequel and the prequel. Thanks, Jack. Yeah, she's a pretty cool character.
Sorry. Chat's a little crazy right now, Jack, so if you had a message, I might miss it. But once it cools down, you can let us know. Alright, you want to switch over?
Oh yeah, I guess I should be doing that, shouldn't I?
Water.
My Eenie Meenie voice is your favorite? I can't remember it.
Ooh, oh my god. I saw the banker on jury duty. That's odd.
I didn't hear the tonk of that hammer.
You didn't?
No, did you?
A little bit, yeah.
Maybe I wasn't paying attention. Okay, let's do it.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and the defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
The prosecution is fully prepared, my lord.
Unlike Nyanny.
Unlike me.
The defense is ready, my lord.
The Nipponese are truly a fascinating breed.
Sorry, what?
Lord Strongheart has told me all about you. That you are a student who arrived in London but 2 days ago. A mere amateur.
Oh man, Strongheart is totally behind this whole thing that's happening. I feel like we're being tested or something.
Yes.
Do you have a point?
Being a compatriot, you feel compelled to try to help the accused, I suppose. Typical Nipponese arrogance.
Forgive me, but I do not believe arrogance is an appropriate description.
Susato-san.
After all, at our previous encounter, the defendant was found to be innocent.
Very true. And most fascinating, if dark, the trial it was, too.
Whenever he pours a glass, I'm like, will this glass survive?
No.
Will it?
The tragic conclusion came later, of course. Here's to the acquitted and his unfortunate, violent end.
Damn, that's cold. And Jose, thank you.
Oh, Maid's there too.
Oh my god, yes. For 15 months.
Oh, yeah, those don't come through. What does it say?
No. Oh, finally get to catch Ace Attorney students that had to go back to the office during the week. Aw, that sucks. I hope it's getting easier. I
Yeah.
was behind you in the game. Oh, nice. Well, I'm glad you caught up.
In the middle of moving in, feet hurt, need to relax. Stream here, desires fulfilled.
Angry!
Angry!
Thank you. Yeah, moving's tough.
Moving is the most difficult thing anyone has ever done. I like everything about moving is hard.
Yeah, absolutely. But, yeah.
You can do it
I'm glad
because
you
once
know
you're in your new place and you've nested, ooh,
Ooh.
that's the nicest thing. Getting all nested.
Anonymous, thank you for 16 months, and hell yeah. Missed you too. Let's get started.
Woo! Woo!
Thank you, counsels. I see both sides are in fine fettle. Fettle. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you are ready to carry out your duties here in court as impartial members of the public?
Oh, God. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Fair play for
Random
everyone.
jury, I guess.
Uh-huh.
You never know when you might be down on your luck, but I believe in fair play for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. No.
No.
Woo!
But I must warn you, I'm rather ruthless and much more ruthless than I appear.
I like her. Armin? Is that you?
Oh, well, not me. What you say is what you get. I'm a peace-loving fellow. I'm afraid to say I think it's quite possible that mustached foreigner did the deed.
Oh my god!
You unbiased man.
Oh my god. Oh!
Come on, what are we waiting for? No doubt he did it anyway.
Oh, is that the husband? Is he the husband to the granny? I hope that he's the husband to the granny.
Well, if you don't mind doing 4 voices, you can do, old man voice here.
I mean, I can if you want to. I mean, sure.
Eh? Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Very well, let us proceed. Your opening statement, if you please, Lord Von Zeeks.
Very recently, Great Britain signed an alliance with the rising power in the Far East. The accused in the dock today is a student from that same land, a certain Mr. Soseki Natsume. And while our country has extended this foreign student the warmest of welcomes, regrettably the kindness has not been returned. In fact, the student is accused of a most sinister act.
Goodbye.
Of plunging a knife into the back of an innocent woman who was doing nothing but walking down the street.
Short-lived.
A knife crime? I tell you from bitter experience, those are the worst. Bloody oath they are.
Just look at that swallow complexion and short stature. He's one of those dreadful Japanese.
Oh dear. I don't like it.
Come on, let's get this over with. With me now, everyone. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Girl goes home and she writes her Japanese man porn fiction where she's like, ooh, a nice Japanese man's gonna come and take me away to Japan and we're gonna go and we're gonna do all the Japanese things. I'm ignorant to what they are, but I really want to do them all.
Oh my god.
Pray.
Alright gang, you'll know what time it is. Time to choose your horses. Juror number 2 gang, stay winning. Number 2 is number 1 forever, always.
Wait, was that the...
That aged poorly.
That aged poorly.
Grampy is best boy.
Has the screen gotten lighter? I don't think so. Oh, I know there's a weird setting for the colors on the Switch that gets flipped from time to time. Because I know I had to flip it for Xenoblade because it really helped the banding.
Oh, yes.
News, caught up to you, surpassed you.
Oh.
Can't wait to see your reactions in VODland, and I'll catch up to your playthrough, and I got a job interview lined up. Sparkles, I'm confident I'll be fine.
Grants Voice on Games, hell yeah.
Get it.
Yeah.
Nice. Congratulations.
Freaking get it.
Allow me to call the first witness to the stand.
Very well. Bailiff, lead the inspector in, please.
Oh, goodness, it's Chelmy. Wait, wrong name. Brant.
Bag of chips.
Brant.
Brant.
Your name and occupation, please.
Brant?
Gregson.
Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard.
Would you please summarize the events of the case for the court inspector?
Oh. Sorry.
The victim is thought to be a young woman in her 20s by the name of Olive Green. Oh, I beg your pardon, Inspector. Thought to be? Yes, having been stabbed in the back by her attacker's knife. the victim fell unconscious. That was 3 days ago, and she's been comatose ever since.
What? So you don't even know who she is for sure?
Comatose, I see. But her life is not in danger.
Fortunately for the Eastern student, the charge will not be murder. Pray, elaborate on the details, Inspector.
Sir, if I could ask everyone to look up at this street map. As I mentioned, the incident took place 3 days ago, around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It happened on the pavement running alongside Briar Road, a wide thoroughfare for horse-drawn vehicles. It had not been long since it stopped snowing as the victim, Miss Green, was walking down the street. Out of the blue, she was approached from behind by the accused and stabbed in the back. Luckily, the young lady's life was spared, and she's currently being treated in one of the city's hospitals. But being unconscious as she is, we've been unable to take a statement from her, of course. This is the case file with everything we know about the victim so far. Thank you, Inspector. The court will accept the documents as evidence, if you please.
I got to work on my
Oh, we actually did, Sandra. Sorry. Oh, Sandra, thank you for 16 months. Getting closer to sending that package. Might send it at the end of the week. I'm nervous but excited.
Aw,
I'm very excited.
absolutely. We've been slowly working on Jenny and Cyber's packages.
I know. Very tasty. I ate the last of the cheese doodles last night.
Ooh.
The Jaxes.
Oh, yeah.
So good. Those are such a problem for me.
I don't know if you're around Friday, Jenny, but I was having some cookies and they're really good.
Mm-hmm.
The filling kind of melted, but it kind of made it better.
What of the weapon that was used?
Because it's so hot here, it's actually kind of cool today, though.
Sir, I have that here. It was removed from the victim's back.
Ouch. That big thing is starting to make me scared to walk down the street now.
Arthur and his every day when you're walking down the street, everybody that you meet has an original knife for you, I guess.
Oh.
With a heavy blade like that, almost anyone would have been able to stab the poor woman.
Even the scragged-looking Soseki-san, I suppose. Plays an interesting inflection with all of his voices. They often sound like they aren't ending each sentence, although I remember Nyan said it's kind of a Canadian thing to do. Well, it was one of us. That said
It was you.
me, yeah.
You were talking.
It was me?
Yeah.
I said the thing.
You said the
about
thing.
sentences not really ending.
When you speak with the upward inflection.
Upward inflection, and that's how you know the story's still going until it isn't.
In front of his kids, man.
In front of his kids, eh?
She got stabbed in front of her kids, yeah.
Yeah.
A common or garden jackknife, I would say. Rather nondescript. Thank you, Inspector. The court accepts the blade as evidence.
Just for fun, is there, like, something I could do with, like, vowels or consonants to, like, change the voices a little bit?
Well, it depends, because the thing about English is, especially English from England from Britain, is you have to think about like where each character's from. If they're from the north,
I can't do that.
but like
I just
have
wanna mess with it and be like, that's close enough.
close enough.
Yeah, I'm not going for accuracy at all. I don't care about that. I just want to be like,
Thank
GD
you,
says,
Inspector.
No, have a nice day.
that's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be fun to just like, I don't know, because I'm not sure like what the rules are, because like British English does do vowels differently.
Yes.
Like
Accepts.
Court accept.
I don't know how much of it's right, but it's
I had to learn, like when I was looking at the like how to speak Cockney, they
yeah.
kept talking about the glottal L.
the glottal
The glottal L.
The glottal L.
You don't say that it's whatever in water. You got water, brother, mother,
Water.
water.
Fun.
Now then, what do you know of the motive? Money or valuables, I presume? From what we can tell by looking at the woman's possessions, it seems that she's a poor student herself. Hard to imagine she would have had anything much worth pinching, my lord. I see. Well, in that case, are we looking at some deep-seated resentment towards the victim? I'm afraid I couldn't say. Apart from visiting second-hand bookshops, the defendant, Mr. Natsume, doesn't appear to go out much. At this moment in time, we haven't been able to establish any sort of connection between him and the victim.
Yes! Yes! Hit it, chat. If theft and grievance have been ruled out as motive, what reason could Mr. Natsume possibly have had for stabbing the young woman? Oh my god. I forgot, I just had like all of the flashbacks now. Of course. They couldn't have done it because they didn't have a motive, and that always worked for the opposition, but never worked for us. Where it's like, you go through like a 3-hour thing about proving why the like person had a motive to do it, and then, you know, you do it, and then your case is like, they didn't have a motive, and then the prosecution's like, that doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
It's like, you can do that? Yet you arrested the man in spite of that, in a totally unjustified and heavy-handed way.
Objection!
Ooh, bye. Watch out! Yeah.
Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging a freshly uncorked bottle into the public gallery.
Just once, and if it doesn't happen, then sometime in the future, if someone mods this game to do, like, custom stuff or whatever, I want him to do that, but it to land perfectly upright on the bench back there.
Yeah.
Like, just the sickest bottle flip.
But your words have soured its hallowed bouquet. For it is you, my learned friend, who is being heavy-handed here.
Van Zieks is like the epitome of all chill, but also no chill.
Yeah.
What?
Scotland Yard does not arrest people without good cause. That should be beyond the question. Inspector Gregson, the prosecution calls for your formal testimony. Explain to the court precisely why the constabulary came to arrest the Nipponese student.
Yes, sir.
Constabulary?
Sorry.
Constab...
Someone said the Wilhelm scream, and I'm like, yeah, I could get that, because that'd be really great for that. Throws it back.
That's not the Wilhelm scream. That's
No, it's
Goofy.
wow!
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah. That was a lot better. I was doing Goofy
Wasn't
scream.
quite it, but yeah. Mr. Natsume's arrest. And right before we do that...
I love video game of attorney, object to truth and evidence, hold it, and investigate crime scene.
Artemis!
Artemis!
What up?
Everything you said is accurate.
Absolute.
I also feel similarly.
I like use few words.
Ooh, I wrote the way I wrote Flo was really satisfying for me.
Ooh.
Artemis is less satisfying looking. Sorry about that. But Flo, I did well. 50% of the words were good.
As I said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred, and there was an unusually light fog. Visibility was reasonably good, and there was no one else about but the victim and the accused. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. The accused ran off, scouting his belongings all over the floor.
We had to call in an ace detective to figure out where he was, apparently.
Those being a number of old books he just bought, he was on his way home from the bookshop, it seems. It was just a matter of working out who the books belonged to, and we found the bloke to arrest him. Old books, you say? Yes, my lord. I have a photograph here of the evidence from the crime, taken immediately after the incident.
Oh!
Oh, ouch.
Oh, ow! Oof!
Oh, yes, I can clearly see the books in which you are referring.
Yes, the books! My eyes were drawn to the books too.
I will take that photographic print as evidence, please, Inspector.
It's in color?
Yeah, the one last trial was too.
Yeah, I guess things are more advanced over here in Britain.
I believe so.
You Nipponese are a spineless breed, too cowardly to admit defeat. Denying everything despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary.
Well,
Going a bit Gandalf, sorry. Forgive me, Lord Van Zeeks, but the defendant is not denying everything as you put it.
Ooh. How would you put it? Gandalf. Severus Gandalf.
Severus Gandalf?
Yeah. What are you doing, Mr. Sato?
Do go on.
Mr. Natsume has admitted to playing some part in the incident. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, now that you mention it, when we visited him in the prison yesterday, he did tell us what had all happened.
As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat she was, and just as I went to overtake her, she suddenly let out a little scream, "Eek!" and then collapsed onto the cold hard slab with a stone at my feet. I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my cursed lodgings.
A green overcoat?
Well, that's exactly what the woman in the woman in that print was wearing.
Oh my, a photographic print full of color. What will the world come up with next?
The defendant has done nothing more than admit he fled the scene of a terrifying incident. That does not mean he's guilty of the heinous crime of stabbing the woman in the back.
There was nobody else there at the time, just the two of them.
You and I.
The victim and the accused.
Van Zeeks. We love you so much, you crazy vampire. Heart.
Crazy vampire.
Monosqueeve anime! Thank you.
The true victim in this case is the person in the gallery that got hit by Van Zeek's bottle.
Jack!
Honestly, I would respect this game. This would be my like 11 out of 10 game if there was a bonus chapter, like didn't matter, non-canon, but Van Zeeks is being prosecuted for hitting like someone in the gallery with the bottle. And you have to defend him. That would be my
Your dream
11
case.
out of 10 dream case.
In other words, there is nobody else who could possibly have stabbed the woman. A fact that the accused concedes.
It seems this cross-examination could prove to be pivotal, counsel. Proceed, please.
Yes, my lord. Nothing for it. I have to use this cross-examination to turn the tables here. It's our only chance.
Or juror number 5 from the previous cases there catches the bottle, just... I gotta pee, I'll be right back.
As I said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred, and there was unusually light fog.
Hold it! A light fog, you say?
Well, light for London. You could see the opposite side of the street for once. Not much farther, though.
That's light, is it?
Around these parts, yes. Not something I'd expect a Japanese fellow like yourself to know, of course.
I've read that London is famous for its fog. But in my country, people usually imagine that gives the city a rather beautiful appearance. Oh. Color photography apparently banned in the 1890s, so around 10 years or so ago, since this is around the turn of the century.
How quaint.
Yes, well, it's not something us Londoners tend to romanticize, but I expect you can appreciate.
I see.
At this time of year, the fog causes a large number of accidents, especially when it's heavy. Sometimes you can't see your own hand at the end of your arm. Indeed. The other day, I was nearly trampled by horses before I could see the carriage they were pulling.
Sasato-san and I should definitely remember to stop, look, and listen.
Yay!
However, on the day that concerns us, the fog was somewhat lighter than usual. A fact no doubt lamented by the accused.
Visibility was reasonably good. And there was no one else about but the victim and the accused. Oops.
Hold it! How are you able to state that with any certainty?
Quite simply, my learned friend. Because that is what the witnesses to the crime have told us.
Ah, yes. Inspector Gregson mentioned the witnesses yesterday, didn't he?
That's right. One of them is a policeman, I believe, from Scotland Yard.
That is correct, ma'am.
Then we must hear their testimony.
I like how his slaps always are pretty flaccid at the start, and then they get so much more powerful at the end.
Yeah.
The prosecution will, of course, call them to the stand, should it be necessary.
But wait a minute. At 5 o'clock in the afternoon, in the middle of winter, it would have been dark already. 5 o'clock in the afternoon, damn. No matter how light the fog might have been, no one could have seen...
I am unaware of the situation on your tiny island in the east. But here in the capital city of Great Britain, all main roads are illuminated by in the night by gas streetlights. The prosecution believes there would have been ample light by which to witness the crime.
Quite. Here in London, for the first time in history, mankind has completely conquered the darkness.
And ruined stars forever.
Oh.
Catherine says Flaccid Slaps is a great indie band name.
Flaccid Slaps. Which means we really need to hear those witness statements. If I could just get through the fog of this cross-examination, maybe we'll be able to.
It seems the counsel for the defense is taking stock. Continue with your testimony, Inspector.
Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement.
Hold it! From behind, you say?
That's right. As you can see from this print. Yes, quite so, Inspector. The handle of the weapon is clearly protruding from the victim's back. And as you say, this poor woman, Miss Green, remains in critical condition. Comatose, no less. I'm afraid so, my lord, yes. She's been treated at Bart's.
Ay caramba.
I was hopeful that she'd come around before...
Took you a minute there, or what?
I forgot that used to be his catchphrase. Oh, nice. Eat my shorts.
Yeah. Sorry, I got a little
tickle.
tickle.
I was hopeful that she'd come around before the trial started, so I could take the statement, but it wasn't to be. Yes, that is quite a pity indeed. It would have been most illuminating to hear the victim's own account of the offense.
Luck is on your client's side, it seems.
I think the opposite, thank you very much. On the contrary, my client has been exceedingly unlucky.
Your force of tone is seriously undermined by those disturbingly wide eyes, I'm afraid.
Barton Britain.
Eat my trousers, I saw that.
Nosh my pants.
Oh, God.
Just nosh them.
The accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor.
Hold it! Mr. Natsume's belongings,
I think you'll find it's all there in the photographic print of the crime scene. Yes, there are 3 books on the floor. That's right, my lord. Second-hand books they were. Irreparably damaged after falling in the snow, of course.
Irreparably damaged. Ooh.
The accused could easily have carried all 3 books in one hand, which means his other hand would have been free to wield a knife, for example.
He's very clever, isn't he?
what do you mean?
He's made it extremely hard for you to assert that Mr. Natsume had his hands full with books. He's managed to close the one avenue of escape we might have had before we even knew it was there.
You mean to say that the defendant was holding his belongings as he thrust the knife into the woman's back? That must be what happened, my lord, yes. Those being a number of old books he just bought, he was on his way home from the bookshop, it seems.
Hold it! The defendant apparently visits a second-hand bookshop on a daily basis.
Yes, so I understand. A shop full of old English literature.
I commend the accused on the lofty subject matter of his scholarly attention.
Bloke's room was stacked floor to ceiling with those musty old books.
Can you tell us more about the bookshop in question, please, Inspector?
Well, if I must, I'll have to ask you to look at the street map again, I'm afraid.
Ooh,
Oh, bourbon books.
bourbon books.
The closest second-hand bookshop to the accused lodgings is this place here, Bourbon Books. A little place on the corner of Briar Road and Meersham Street. As it happens, the accused is currently living in the lodgings on the other side of Briar Road at the opposite end. Which means it doesn't take a genius to work out that the route he would have taken home. Something like this.
Not necessarily.
But wait. What if Natsume had a condition where he could only turn right? What would be the route that he could take home that would be the shortest while making the fewest right turns possible on a Saturday before 3 p.m. with a waxing moon? Go, Leighton fans.
Yes, I concur with your conclusion, Inspector. How many apples did he buy? The defendant would certainly have passed the scene of the crime on his way home from that particular shop.
Mr. Naruhodo, I think that what the inspector just told us could turn out to be of vital importance.
Yes, I agree. The most important point that the inspector just made being the bookshop's name. I guess the location. The crucial detail you've just told the court, Inspector, is the location of the bookshop.
I couldn't agree more.
So, where is it exactly?
Are you winding me up, sunshine? I just explained that. I got the map out and everything. Used red bloomin' ink and drew the bloke's route home for you. And I distinctly remember seeing you nod along, Counsel.
Oh, yes, of course. I must have been so nervous I didn't take it in.
I thought that was right.
The blunder of the day goes to you, my learned friend.
I thought that they were going to add it to, like, the court record or something. No, not yet. The trial's only just begun, after all.
Mr. Naruhodo, I would strongly advise you look carefully through the court record at this stage.
Yes, miss, at once. Sorry, I made a mistake, miss.
Inspector, continue with your testimony, please.
Okay, well, let's,
Well, I guess we gotta go back and try that again.
I guess it's the name, because we didn't know the name.
Baba.
Yeah, I legitimately got that wrong.
Whee.
Oh. Okay, hold on. What's the question?
The most important point that the inspector just made being...
Well, because he told us the name, but this is weirded so written.
It's weird and very wordly.
Yeah.
Because, like, we don't know anything about the stock.
Yeah, they didn't mention, like, the most important point that the inspector just made being, but they didn't
talk about the stock. So, I mean, it has to be the name, I guess.
Or, like, what I think it might be is that we don't know what the stock is, so maybe he got the books from a different store kind of thing. I'm just gonna go with stock, and we'll see what happens. I often think, Inspector, that what really makes for good bookshop is the quality of the books they stock.
Yes, I think I'd agree with that.
For example, you go to a shop and buy a serialized set of novels. But when you return home, you find, to your horror, that the third volume is missing.
Doesn't bear thinking about. Just the sort of thing that really gets my goat.
Exactly! And that is the point I was trying to make!
Well, now that you two have found common ground in that fascinating scenario, perhaps we might continue with the cross-examination, if you're quite finished, my learned Nipponese friend.
Yes! Wait, what just happened?
What just happened, Mr. Naruhodo, was that you allowed yourself to be sidetracked. I would strongly advise that you look carefully through the court record at this stage.
Yes, miss. At once, miss.
I can't help but notice you still haven't looked at the court record!
Yes, miss.
Yes, Mum. Why is Zeke's calling him Nipponese instead of Japanese? Japan in Japanese is Nippon.
Nippon.
So technically, we're just... he's being, I guess, more polite?
Hmm. Inspector Gregson, may I ask you a favor?
What?
Would you kindly add the name of the bookshop to your formal testimony, please? I believe it may be of vital importance.
Maybe?
Oh, well, you know, I mean, yes. It could be a very important clue.
Well, not that I can see it being of any great significance, but please revise your testimony accordingly, Inspector.
I assume the receipt we have is for a different one, probably.
Receipts.
I'll check after we finish
yeah,
this.
Yeah, for
thing.
sure.
Yes, sir, my lord, whatever you say.
Could the man be any more sardonic? What exactly is sardonic? Do we know? Chat, do you know?
Sardonic?
Ooh. On his way home from Bourbon Books, a secondhand bookshop that he apparently patronizes. So the shop is called Bourbon Books, is it?
Can we look at the court record?
I wanted to finish the
Okay.
thing first, and then go through it.
Okay.
What do you want to look at?
I just wanted to see what the if we had a receipt.
Your books.
Cool. That's what I thought. Where's the tip?
Wouldn't you like to know? Huh.
These kind of knives always make me like nervous opening them.
Oh, look here, Mr. Naruhodo. Just at the tip. A small piece of the blade appears to be missing.
You're right. Well spotted, Mrs. Sato.
I wonder what could have happened to it.
Yes. You don't think it could still be lodged in the victim, do you?
Oh dear, I do hope not. That sounds terribly painful. Likely it turned 13 and it just went to its bris.
That's right. That's the closest second-hand bookshop to the accused lodgings. And to get there from back to his room, he would have gone right past the very spot where the incident took place.
If you could I could just confirm one point. Can we be sure that the defendant really did visit Bourbon Books on the day in question?
Well, we haven't actually confirmed it, no. You haven't confirmed it? Why the devil not, Inspector? Well, the thing is, The shopkeeper's gone on a trip, you see. Left the morning after the incident to collect more stock, I'm told. So we, haven't been able to ask the bloke if the accused visited his shop on the day in question or not.
Well, in that case, what did the defendant himself have to say about it?
No recollection.
What? What?
According to the statement he made at the time, the accused had no recollection of where he'd been.
Of course he doesn't.
The bloke clearly has his head in the clouds wherever he's walking about town. He claims he just wanders into whatever bookshop he happens to be passing and rarely notices the name.
I don't know. I just like books.
I should say the man ought to learn to look where he's going at the very least.
Just in a freaking, like, book delirium.
Right? So there I was carrying my books in one hand and my stabbing knife in the other, just stabbing randomly while I was thinking about the books that I was going home to read, when suddenly a lady screamed and I was like, where'd my knife go? Someone stabbed this lady! And then I ran home.
Basically just Charlie Dave could read.
Yeah.
It's just as I thought then.
Is something the matter?
Inspector, you may continue with your testimony.
It was just a matter of time of working out who the books belonged to, and we found the bloke to arrest him.
Hold it! You asked for the help of the famous detective Herlock Sholmes to locate the defendant, I believe.
Stuff and nonsense.
Sorry?
That jack in office, that busybody, just comes and sticks his oar in whenever we ask him or not.
Jack in office?
Yeah. But according to what I have here, Mr. Sholmes was shown to the scene by Scotland Yard detectives.
Well, that was nothing to do with me. The lads at the scene must have done it without my permission.
Oh.
I tell them time and time again, whenever something happens, send word to the headquarters. Then follow your bloomin' instructions.
I see.
If that meddler gets his hands on any details, we'll all be reading it in Rant's magazine next month. And you can bet your last farthing that I'll be in there too, stripped of all my hard work for the case. Yes, Mr. Sholmes, no, Mr. Sholmes. Aren't you clever, Mr. Sholmes? That's all the thanks I'll be getting.
Inspector,
It really does remind me of Luigi.
Yeah.
your inferiority complex is showing. If the man Baba Scotland Yard, perhaps I should step in and deal with him.
Oh!
Sorry, I wasn't ready for that.
It appears Inspector Gregson is lost for words.
Yes.
Yes, the Reaper's words carry a lot of weight, obviously.
Anyway, the point is this. That little Japanese bloke's already admitted it. He's admitted that those books all over the pavement that seen the crime were the ones he bought that day.
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? If you're unable to sway the jury during this cross-examination, I'm afraid.
That Mr. Natsumi's fate will be sealed? Yes, they're sure to find him guilty. So one way or another, I have to expose an undeniable inconsistency in the inspector's testimony.
Boop, boop, boop.
There was nobody there. Now here's two witnesses who were there.
Cyber Saiyan!
Do be like that.
Miss No and Mr. Body.
Thank you, Cyberson.
I want Charlie Kelly, a Spurred law attorney.
Well, in bird law, things are a little bit different. That guy! I love Charlie Kelly, Ace Bird Law.
Objection. If I could just stop you there, Inspector Gregson.
What is it, sunshine? I'm a busy man, you know.
I kind of like how he calls us Sunshine. It makes me feel special.
Sunshine?
Yeah.
This is a receipt that we found in Mr. Natsume's room. It was issued on the day of the incident and details the purchase of 3 second-hand books. Oh, we can't see the actual thing, because I'm like, man... Oh, it's the company, I guess.
And you found that in the accused's room, did you?
Yes, but my point is not where the receipt was found, but the name of the shop printed on it.
Go on.
This receipt was issued from a bookshop called Your Books.
Your Books. Y-O-R-E, I presume.
Yes, my lord. So, Mr. Natsume did indeed purchase a number of books at a secondhand bookshop that day. However, the bookshop in question was not Bourbon Books.
What? Inspector, do you know this other bookshop? Yes, sir. Your Books is another secondhand bookshop not far from Bourbon Books. It's just that, well, it's such a small place, I didn't think the accused would have known about it.
But in fact, that is the bookshop which the defendant visited on the day in question.
Gasp!
And the receipt proves it.
Receipts!
Yes, for what difference it makes. Wherever the man purchased his musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis.
I disagree. I mean, after all,
I have the street map here, if that might be of help.
Oh, yes, thank you. Have a look at this, please. If the defendant had been returning from Bourbon Books, then yes, he would almost certainly have passed the place where Miss Green was attacked. However, if we take into account the fact that he was actually at another bookshop, Your Books, it may very well turn out that he wouldn't have passed that location at all.
Could that be true?
My, it rather depends on where this other bookshop is, but I do declare it may be a possibility.
Is she Southern?
I don't know.
Is that right, Mr. Lawyer, sir? What you just said?
Absolutely. It absolutely could be right. There are so many voices I don't think anyone's gonna mind if you take some creative license with it.
Sure.
Inspector Gregson, where's this Your Books establishment? Well, obviously we looked into that, it turns out that Your Books is just here on the next corner of Meersham Street.
It's such a small store. It's bigger than Bourbon Books, you bum!
Maybe it's like wedged in between like 4 other buildings or
Oh,
something.
maybe.
And there you have it. As you can clearly see now. Oh.
My learned Nipponese friend is obviously in training to be a clown, the way he regales us with such witticisms. To your future career in the circus.
Oh, you put that glass down now or I'll put it down for you!
Wow!
I didn't think I'd needed to spell it out, but here we go. If the accused was coming back from Your Books instead of Bourbon Books, there's no doubt he still would have passed the place where the victim was stabbed. Yes, thank you, Inspector.
Allow me to reiterate for my learned friend, allow me to reiterate for my learned, if somewhat slow, Nipponese friend. Wherever the man purchased his musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis.
Those glasses have got to be made of sugar or something.
Ah!
As I expected, you can't fool me, and don't you try suggesting I will fuck your shit up.
What did I say, eh? I've had enough of this now.
Beg your pardon? I'm terribly sorry. I was about repeating that. Excuse me, sir.
Mr. Naruhodo, we mustn't give up.
What do you mean?
If the prosecution's assertion is correct, the members of the jury may very well decide that Mr. Natsume is guilty.
She's absolutely right.
We must think. We must consider the assertion just put forward by the prosecution very, very carefully.
They claim Soseki-san must have passed the location of the incident on his way home from your... Oh, shit! Oh, well, I was just trying to forward the text, but... The assertion made by the prosecution is fundamentally flawed. I think, probably. I did it on instinct.
Explain yourself, counsel.
Yes, my lord. You can see what I mean on this map. When returning from your books to his lodgings, Mr. Natsume could have followed the route suggested by the prosecution. However, that isn't the only conceivable route to take between the two places. If the defendant used these streets, look what happens. He arrives back at his lodgings without passing the location where the victim was attacked.
Objection!
This is kind of silly.
Talking back to a clown is a fool's errand, of course. However, I feel compelled to point out that route, which is what is commonly referred to as the long way round.
Ah!
On a cold winter's night, why would any man choose to take a longer route home?
Well,
Because he hates where he lives! And he doesn't like you much either.
The answer is extremely simple. He wouldn't. In other words, the accused took the obvious route back to his lodgings, and is the obvious perpetrator of this crime.
Yes, I've got it. Obviously, we must ask the man himself. Ask Mr. Natsume which route he took home.
I have already informed the court of the accused's response to such questioning. He claims he has no recollection.
That's right. As I said, the bloke seems to spend his time outside wandering aimlessly from A to B.
Isn't that just, like, why wouldn't he take the long way around? You can't say that he wouldn't take a short way if he literally just spends all day wandering. He just wanders. It's like some sort of wanderer.
I'm sorry.
No, sorry, go on.
That day was no exception. He says he doesn't remember where he was or which route he took home.
I don't believe this!
I thank you, my learned friend, and suggest that we do not waste any more of the court's time by wandering aimlessly around this subject. Pray, what say you, insightful jurors?
But even if that is the case, the defense still... Holy crap.
I agree with Lord Von Zeeks. Wholeheartedly and in every way.
What? I don't believe it. Does this mean...
We members of the jury are completely convinced now. Very well, in that case, I hereby call upon all members of the jury to present your findings to the court. Guilty!
Oh!
Guilty.
Whoa!
Guilty. Guilty.
Oh.
Guilty.
Oh!
Guilty. Ha! Guilty. Combo! Sexicide.
What?
Like, because, like, pentakill?
Oh, yeah.
After that would be sexa, wouldn't it be? For 6?
I don't know. I think they just went on to, like, made up words after that. Not like
Because
actually, but...
sept would be 7.
Yeah.
Septicide. Hexicide?
Hex, yeah, I think.
I think hex is maybe what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Yep.
It would appear the jury's leaning is unanimous.
To the insightful members of the jury, I applaud your brave resolve. You serve Queen and country admirably.
Mr. Naruhodo?
It's time for that thing. No. Not yet. This isn't over yet. I still have one last chance to sway the opinion of the jury. Ooh. I have to tip the balance of those scales the other way. I have to turn this around. Somehow.
Those are the eyes of Quarry not yet willing to give up and So I presume you intend to wield your rights again this trial. Rights of the defense written into antiquated British law that should have been buried long ago.
Call it antiquated if you will, but it's the defense's prerogative to carry out a summation examination if it chooses.
Very well, Counsel. In accordance with the letter of the law, we shall proceed with a summation examination. All the members of the jury ready, Mr. Foreman? Of course we're ready. I'm all too familiar with that Nipponese whippersnapper and his onkus refusal to throw in his alley.
Onkus.
Onkus.
Very well then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty.
Judicial findings.
The jurors' contentions.
Fun fact, Case 3 also has this guilty scene with their own voice acting, but only if you fail the case lol.
Oh.
And that wasn't going to happen for us. Mm-mm.
No way. We weren't even close. We had no hope of losing.
Thank you, Ingrid.
Dinkum.
Dinkum.
For pity's sake, that little Nipponese already admitted it himself, didn't he?
If he said that a woman in green collapsed before his eyes, why, it can only have been the victim.
Oh, the man wouldn't have gone around the houses, sorry, whenever I see houses, I put 3 in front of it. Kind of a nervous tick. On his way back from the bookshop, not in winter.
So the poor woman was attacked from behind, was she? Oh, how dreadful.
I really don't care. Can't we just wrap this up now? I've got work to be doing.
Your books, oh yes, nice shop that. But bourbon books, oh no, not worth a visit.
With only minor exceptions, the reasons for finding the defendant guilty are all too clear.
When the stabbing occurred, the only 2 people at the scene were the victim and the accused, and 2 witnesses. And the accused himself has admitted to seeing the victim in her green overcoat sink to the ground before his eyes.
Furthermore, we've heard from the inspector that the defendant then fled the scene. I must say, I would have ample ground to convict this man already.
Oh dear, even the judge appears to be convinced of Mr. Natsumi's guilt now.
Why did he have to run away like that? And how are we supposed to believe in some phantom attacker that no one could see? This is impossible. How can I possibly make a case for the defense?
Mr. Naruhodo, this is not the time for grumbling. If we want to force the trial to continue...
Yes, I know. We have to turn the tide. I must make the jurors change their minds. Well, 4 of them at least.
Exactly. We have no choice but to forge forward.
You have the floor, Counsel. Begin your summation examination.
Yes, my lord. I just need to keep this trial going somehow, whatever it takes. Come on, Ryunosuke, you can do it.
Grease the wheels, baby. Grease the wheels. Jury examination.
The defense's rebuttal.
For pity's sake, that little Nipponese oddity has already admitted himself, didn't he?
Excuse me, but aren't you...
Yes, that's right. I was in the witness stand myself just 2 days ago.
Yes, I had a feeling I knew your face, or the side of it anyway. If I remember correctly, you're a banker, aren't you?
That's right. After the gold rush down under, I came back to London to work. And it was all going swimmingly until you started fossicking around. Bruce Fairplay was a man of repute.
Sorry?
I don't think I've forgotten how you treated me the other day. You had me and that young hatter pegged as criminals.
Oh, well, you know, water under the bridge and all that.
Now there's all sorts of rumors buzzing around, and the police have been badgering me non-stop.
If I could turn back the clock.
Well, anyway, I don't know about the hatter, but at least I'm in the clear now. And free to make my own mind about who's guilty and who isn't.
Thank goodness. All right, maybe I might struggle to change this man's mind given our awkward history.
Oh dear. I wonder what's become of Mr. First now.
Like the Bible says, the first will become last.
Ooh.
If he said that a woman in green collapsed before his eyes, why, it can only have been the victim.
You're right that at the time of the incident, the defendant admits to having seen someone wearing a green overcoat walking ahead of him.
Well, quite. That's precisely my point. Clearly that someone wearing green was the victim. And clearly that funny little Nipponese man with the disturbing mustache is the culprit, and I don't want a mustache riot. Not secretly.
Let us not forget, madam, the defendant vehemently denies attacking the woman.
Why, of course he does. If he admits to stabbing her, his life is over. The man is obviously a liver-faced coward, honestly claiming that a woman simply collapsed before his eyes.
But if that's a lie, as you're suggesting, do you not think he could have concocted something more credible?
Oh, I really couldn't say. After all, you are foreign. Who's to say what goes through your funny little minds?
I could tell you what's going through my funny little mind right now, but you wouldn't like it.
I do declare the man has already made the admission. He himself has stated that if there was nobody else around, surely the conclusion is obvious. No one else could have possibly committed this awful crime. If no one else could have done it, then the accused must be the man. Really, it couldn't be more simple.
Your argument is compelling in its simplicity, I must admit.
Oh my, you're too kind, my lord.
That went well. For her.
The man wouldn't have gone round with the houses on his way back from the bookshop, not in winter.
But you can't deny that there were other routes that Mr. Natsume could have taken back from your books.
This guy looks like First's brother. He's also a hatter, but he makes better hats.
Oh, maybe.
Oh yes, like you drew on the map, you mean? What was it? Calabash Road or something?
Precisely.
But it seems to me that what counts is whether the little Japanese fellow actually went that way or not.
Well, yes, that's true.
And at the moment, there's no proof that shows he did, is there?
Well, yes, that's true as well.
And as I understand it, the accused himself doesn't remember which way he went, does he?
Well, yes, that's annoyingly true, yeah.
Winter nights are dark and cold, so the way I see it, he'd want to get home as quickly as possible.
Well, yes. Why is all of this true?
So really, the only thing that makes sense is that he went home along Briar Road.
I'm supposed to be convincing you here.
Juror 3 is kind of sweet.
Yeah.
I've given it a lot of thought, you know. I didn't just make up my mind on the whim like he did it. I mean, there was some logical reason to why he might have gone to Calabash. It'd be different. I'd be happy to reconsider my position in the case, but honest I would.
A reason why Soseki-san might have taken the longer way home.
Yes, a good reason. I don't imagine you'll be able to sway this young man's opinion without one. So the poor woman was attacked from behind, was she? Oh, how dreadful.
Hold it!
Whatever is the matter, young man?
You're the wife of Mr. Garadeb, aren't you? The landlord who rents Mr. Natsume his room.
The master's wife? Oh, where do you get such ideas, sir? I'm the maid! The maid, you understand, everyone? The maid!
She's keeping up that charade?
Charade!
This is going to be awkward. Why didn't you mention this yesterday? That you'd been selected for the jury in this trial, I mean.
Well, I was told not to mention it to anyone until the day of the trial, you see. It was in the letter I received. The instructions were very clear, so I'm afraid I had no choice.
I see. Anyway, Mr. Natsume, the defendant, takes lodging in your master's house, doesn't he?
Yes, that's right, although he's only been there a little over a week now.
And in that time, surely you must have taken stock of his character. Does Mr. Natsume look like the kind of man who would commit a crime such as this?
Oh my goodness me, yes, he's just the sort.
What?
spending all the time in that dark, dingy room, sporting that unscrupulous moustache. The man never speaks, and don't get me started on those shifty eyes. All the neighbors are talking about him. I've heard them, you know. People think he must be building a bomb in there or something. Oh dear, poor Mr. Natsume. How could people say such mean things about him? He's just a harmless bookworm, nothing more. Socially awkward, likes cats.
Well, you just called him a worm, so... Anyway, I'd better be careful about inviting this maid to speak. She said enough damning things already.
I really don't care. Can't you just wrap this up now? I've got work to be doing.
A man's life is on the line here, sir. This will take as long as it takes.
Don't get clever with me now, son. My life's on the line here too, and so is my family's. Oh. The likes of you wouldn't understand, but a laborer like me can't afford to take time off.
Frick, you're a 5 out of 5 friend. I love him.
If I don't work, I don't eat, and neither do the wife and kids.
Oh, I see. That must be very hard.
I go to the union every morning to find out what needs doing. If you're late and the work's taken, it's tough. This time of year, there's water and gas supply pipes bursting left, right, and center.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Oh,
We're gonna go back, and guess who's gonna be blown the fuck up?
Oh, no. Shh. They wouldn't.
They would.
No way.
They're gonna blow everyone up.
They're after cheap labor to get the roads dug up to fix it. It's a hard slog from dusk till dawn, it is.
So, you were out digging up the roads on the day of the incident as well, were you?
That's right. In fact, if I remember rightly, it was just around the corner from where it all happened. By that old bookshop it was.
What? Another coincidence?
That's right, Mearsham Street it was.
Mearsham Street.
On the map, Mr. Hodo, there's only 3 named streets in all of Britain.
Juror number 5, I need you to add that information to your formal statement, please.
What's the point in that? Can't we just get this business over with now?
Please, sir, it's important.
Fine, I'll do it then.
Oh, we got it.
Not the courtroom. Mr. Garrett Deb is gonna be Mr. Garrett Deb all over the place.
Ooh.
I think. Because nothing says, like, a room for explosion, like a small room filled with books.
And no windows.
No windows with gaslight leaking.
I was talking about that.
You were talking about it. He goes there and he sees visions, man. He's breathing gas. Oh, God, he's gonna die.
Hold it! So, if I understand correctly, you're a day laborer and you were doing road maintenance that day.
That's right, like I said, you get a lot of burst gas and water pipes underground in the middle of winter. It's the only time of year that fellows like me can actually make a few bob. And I'm missing out today.
And when you say from dawn till dusk...
Well, the work has to be completed within the day, see? No coaches or pedestrians can pass while it's happening.
I wonder if I could trouble you, sir, to mark on this street map the exact location of the works you were to carry out.
Ho-ho!
Give it here, then. Let me have a look.
Goodbye, Mearsham Street.
Right, let's see then.
Hoodoo!
Here we are, Mearsham Street. Yep, it was just like this, yep. It was a tidy dig, I can tell you. We had to get through all the drifts of snow that had frozen solid.
And what sort of time did you finish the work?
Well, we started in the morning, kind of finished before gone 6, I'd say. The snow had stopped coming down, but it was long past dark for sure.
That means the road work was still going on when Mrs. Green was attacked at around 5 o'clock.
Roadworks on Mearsham Street, huh?
Miss Green, sorry.
Hey, your books, eh? Oh, yes, nice shop, that. But bourbon books? Oh, no, not worth a visit. Sorry, fooled it, you say? Fooled what?
No, what I said was, hold it! What I wanted to ask was, do you visit your books often?
I like the old books they have in there, yes. Oh, I enjoy reading them over a nice cup of tea. That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day, including the day you're all talking about.
And at what time did you visit your books on the day in question?
Well, I was picking out books in there all afternoon, and It would have been just before 5 that I left. That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day, including the day you're talking about.
Just before 5, you say? Exactly when the victim was attacked. Oh my god, he's in green. Are you sure about the time?
He just turns around and he has a knife sticking out of it.
Oh yes, no mistake there. I remember it well. I'm not about to forget that day in a hurry. Not after that dreadful time I had.
What do you mean?
Well, I was walking down Calabash Road when I slipped on the ice and donked me head.
Yee!
It's always worse after the snow stopped falling. That's when it's most slippery. Knocked myself clean out, I did. Really thought my number was up.
Oh my god. Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. This happened on Calabash Road.
That's right. I live in Cornpipe, you see. Heading down the Calabash Road is the quickest way for me to get back from your books.
Juror number 6, I must insist that you add that information to your formal statement. It may very well be extremely significant.
Sorry. Extremely sick. No, I'm quite right all now.
It sends a shiver down my spine to hear the members of the jury so convinced of Mr. Natsume's guilt. But I can't help feeling that some of their opinions are rather subjective.
I agree. It's the irrelevance of what some of them are saying that sends a shiver down my spine. Still, at least some of their assertions don't actually incriminate Mr. Natsume of anything. That's something.
We must use that to our advantage, Mr. Naruhodo. Cunningly.
Yes, you're right. Now let's listen to the jurors again carefully. And if any of their assertions are at odds, we'll pit them mercilessly against each other.
Yes, don't hold back. Pit them all against each other. Fight amongst yourselves!
Oops. Okay, I see where that's going.
Yeah, 2 and 6.
Yeah.
3 and 5.
5, yeah.
Objection.
Objection. Those two statements are clearly at odds with one another.
At odds, counsel. Explain yourself.
Oh, please don't point. It wasn't me, I swear.
Oh, hey, what? Oh, I just want to get this done and dusted.
Oh, damn forearms.
Well, juror number 3?
Oh, me, sir? What do you mean?
Juror number 5's words just now were extremely significant. Let's take a moment to consider the implication of what's been said on our map of the local area. On the day in question, Mr. Natsume visited this bookshop to purchase a number of secondhand books. And on the same day, we now know that there were works being carried out on Mearsham Street, making it impassable. Which means the defendant's route home could not have taken him along Mearsham Street and down Briar Road.
Oh, yes, of course. What do you think, sir?
Well, yes, you can't argue that, really, can you? He must have had a good 2 yards or more of the pavement up. Every gentleman and gentlewoman that came along had to turn back and go the other way.
So, the only conclusion is this. The defendant must have taken the longer route back to his lodgings.
Yes, I suppose he must have.
I suppose that must be right, eh?
Juror number 3, you said the following. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop. But we see now that he had no choice.
Oh, yes! Oh. My lord, Mr. Judge, sir, if I may.
Yes?
I don't think in all good conscience that I can say the man's guilty now. Yep, yes. I'd like to see this trial continue so we can get to the bottom of what really happened.
Damn, juror 3 really do be winning.
Boop. What about you, sir?
Yeah? Oh, me? Well, all right then. If there's a hole in the prosecution's argument, it should be filled in. That's what I say.
Juror number 3's the best.
Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. That was wonderful.
Well, we've managed to change a couple of minds at least. It strengthened our position somewhat.
Yes, and it will prompt the other members of the jury to reconsider their stance as well. They'll be asking themselves if their current leanings are really right or not.
Hi, Playable Master.
Now, if only...
If only.
If we could just identify one more clue or discrepancy that would make them stop doubting Mr. Natsume, we might be able to tip the balance completely.
Yes, that's exactly what we've got to do. Von Zeeks is looking to bring this trial to an early conclusion. That's what we have to prevent, by whatever means we have at our disposal.
Von Zeeks is like, I'm a vampire. I can hear what you're thinking. It's very loud. Twilight, sparkle, sparkle.
Thank you, Counsel. On with the summation examination, please.
Yes, my lord.
Jury, conflict of interest? Never heard of it.
Who is it? Conflict of interest? Who is she? Does she go here?
You gotta know when to hold it, know when to fold it, know when to walk away, know when to run.
Rick roll! Thank you. Hold it.
Thank you, Frick Roll.
All those cases would be much easier if they knew about fingerprints, the rifling marks of the people. Sorry, I made this joke before, but that was ages ago and now it's relevant.
Glad Walbert.
Glad Walbert! It's still a really great joke.
Yep.
Fingerprints. The rifling marks of the people.
Yeah, this is right.
Yeah, 2 and 6.
Those two statements clearly show a flaw in the juror's reasoning. This is a great shot, by the way.
Yeah. Just pointing at an old man.
Yeah.
Oh, flaw. What are you talking about, Counsel?
Well, juror number 2, juror number 6.
My, whatever do you mean, sir? I think perhaps the old man didn't hear you.
Unbelievable. It's not like I was loud or anything. If there's at least one fact of which we can be sure, the bookshop receipt found in the defendant's room clearly indicates that on the day of the attack, he had been to your books and purchased a number of secondhand titles. He then returned home on foot.
But the man says he has no recollection of his return journey.
That's correct. But what he does remember is seeing someone appear in front of him on the way. Someone in a green overcoat who suddenly collapsed on the pavement before his eyes.
Yes, we're all aware of this. The poor young woman was stabbed, obviously.
Can we really be sure of that, madam?
My, whatever do you mean?
I'm sure you heard juror number 6's account of what happened to him that day. That same afternoon, there was somebody else apart from the victim who was wearing a green overcoat and who fell over on the icy streets in the neighborhood.
Oh my.
My goodness. You mean?
That's right. I'm referring, of course, to hard of hearing juror number 6.
Are you really suggesting that the person in the green overcoat whom the defendant saw collapse in front of his eyes was the jolly old gentleman at the end of the bench here with me today?
That is entirely possible, yes. After all, the old man
Beard.
has a somewhat similar build to the victim.
Beard. I love Beard.
Well, look at that.
My goodness me! Sorry. You need a pee?
And crucially,
Then just go, sir.
we know precisely where the old man in the green overcoat fell.
On Calabash Road.
Therefore, if the person who Mr. Natsume saw collapsing in front of him was in fact juror number 6, it means the defendant must have taken the long route back to his lodgings. And if that's true, then clearly the crime scene on Briar Road where the woman was stabbed was not on his way home.
Oh my! Oh, dear heavens.
You idiot old man. If you hadn't been so daft as to be roaming about there, we would have boxed this off hours ago.
And really, what were you thinking wearing such a befuddling coat?
What does he say to me? Is it a crime for the elderly to walk the streets, he says? Is it a crime to slip over on the ice? Is it a crime to keep up with the latest styles and wear a beautiful green overcoat? Is it?
No. No, it's not. A green bodysuit, though.
My lord, I do hope it won't cause any inconvenience, but...
You'd like to change your leaning, I presume?
I do declare I would. I should like to call for the verdict of not guilty.
Thank you.
And I would too!
What?
Is it a crime to change your mind? Is it? Well?
Kind of reminds me of like a hamster.
he's very cute.
Is it a crime to dress up in your wife's Sunday's best and prance around the house? Is it? Is it? Is it a crime? I don't think so. Well, that summation examination has concluded with a rather large shift in opinion. The ayes 2, the noes 4. So the noes have it, not guilty, they say, which means we no longer have a consensus among the members of the jury. The trial will continue. Objection!
Uh-oh. Run. Run for your life, Chalice. No! You're so young. Oh, goodbye.
Could it seem churlish of me to drink from my hallowed chalice moments after raising an objection? Only to crush it in disgust? Pray forgive the discourtesy.
Lord Van Zeeks.
It seems I must retract my earlier remark.
What do you mean?
I mistakenly credited these jurors with intelligence by describing them as insightful.
This is the exact same thing that happened last time.
Yet we have just witnessed them falling for a cheap trick performed by an Eastern entertainer.
Eh?
Whatever do you mean?
I haven't tricked anyone. Everything I've said is the truth. Truth.
Indeed. Stalwart juror number 5 was undoubtedly repairing the road as he claims. I believe you said it was a good 2 yards of the pavement of which you excavated, sir.
That's right. Took me the whole day and they paid me a measly tuppence for it.
Now, my learned Nipponese friend, tell me, do you have any notion of the distance that 2 yards represents?
Well, if I'm honest, I don't have a clue, no.
2 yards is a little less than 2 meters.
Ah, yeah. Less than 2 meters, that's not much at all.
In other words, a distance readily vaulted by anyone of moderate vigor.
2 meters? No way.
2 meters.
2 meters? That's like the length of a person, like more than the length
That's
of a
like,
person.
yeah, that's like a person who's like 6'3".
Yeah, there's like, you'd have to take a good run, especially like on, like the old man fell just walking on a slippery snowy
Right?
sidewalk.
That's what we're gonna be like
6 feet. Yeah.
How do you
no way.
expect someone to run and jump on a slippery
The
slope?
length of a person holding books? No way.
That's 6 feet. Okay, cool.
Would you not agree, my stalwart friend?
Well, I can't say you're wrong, no.
what?
What?
And did you perchance erect a sign to prevent pedestrians from passing the site of your works?
I wouldn't dream of it. What a waste of time. No coaches would have had hopes of passing anyway, and if we just turn any gentlefolk back when they come. Kids just jump right over us all the time.
The accused is no gentleman as far as I can see.
Oh, how dare you!
I have little doubt, however, that he could spring over a 2-yard trench in his meanderings around town.
Oh! Is that true? Is it?
Forgot her voice.
The uncontrovertible truth is that the books just purchased by the accused were found at the scene. There can be no doubt that on his way back to his lodgings, Mr. Natsume walked down Briar Road.
Crushed in a single statement.
And, old man...
Old man? You can talk? What?
You say that around 5 o'clock on the day in question you slipped and fell on Calabash Road. Pray, was there a suspicious-looking Nipponese behind you at the time? I can't say I remember.
How would he know it's behind him?
I don't
before
know.
He fell?
I can't say as I remember.
You don't remember?
How about a wager, my learned friend? You say it was this old man that the accused saw. But I would lay 1,000 to 1 against you being able to prove it. Ah!
Order! Order! Lord Von Zeeks, explain yourself.
My lord?
If you had such a trenchant argument up your sleeve, why in the world did you not proffer it during the summation examination?
I wanted to give this young foreign student the sightseeing experience he no doubt came for.
Also, I think, wasn't it said that he's not allowed to speak at all?
Yes.
I wanted him to see for himself how the opinion of the jury is so readily swayed. But my hospitality has limits, and they have been reached, I feel.
Ooh. Goodbye.
So, my learned friend, today's sightseeing tour of London is now over.
What are you talking about?
My lord! The prosecution requests permission to call its next witness to the stand.
Granted. Bailiff, bring forth the witnesses.
It's next witnesses?
Mr. Naruto, do you not remember? No one was there but 2 witnesses. We've been told on several occasions that there were eyewitnesses to the incident.
Yes, I remember. One of them being a Scotland Yard policeman, no less.
I'm afraid that it's likely to be the prosecution's very will to
Next witness.
kill you.
All right, no matter who Von Zeeks brings to the stand as his witness, no matter what they say, I believe in Soseki-san. I know he's innocent, and I'll keep believing to the very end until this battle is over.
Can't wait for juror number 3 to get his own spin-off.
Chrisman!
Hopefully it does better than Joey.
Oh.
Foggy, slippery night, elderly gent with books. Did you notice anyone behind you? My lord, you are full of SH.
Uh-huh.
By a woman!
I mean,
like,
if
honestly?
anything, he heard Natsume-san coming up behind him, turned to go look at who was behind him, and then that would cause him to fall.
You think he heard anything?
Oh, you're right. Damn you. Damn you, prosecution.
Witnesses, please state your names and occupations for the court.
Chewing on the frickin'...
Gosh, what a gem.
Oh! Constable Rolly Beecher, nothing to report on the streets, sir.
And I'm Mrs. Beat. Patricia's my name, and I'm proud to say I'm this young town hero's wife.
What's the story here?
Well, in truth, we've not been married long. In fact, we celebrated our first anniversary only the other day.
No, it was your husband I was asking about. He seems tired.
Sedated.
Hardly surprising. Whilst being an honorable occupation, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world.
Oh, really? I'm sure I've heard that before, actually.
Indeed, apart from rare days off, our gallant officers trudge some 20 miles a day, you know. They patrol boarding houses and pubs, collect taxes, survey the street, check the meters are running true. And they're responsible for keeping the streets clean and lighting, and extinguishing our streetlights.
There are a number of items on that list that don't sound much like policing duties at all.
I wouldn't just be falling asleep on my feet. I'd have collapsed long ago.
But it goes without saying that the policeman's primary duty is the apprehension of criminals. Even when he's off duty, a constable is expected to investigate and resolve any crimes on his beat. For the London Bobby is a man of honor.
And a man of slumber.
On the day in question, this man and his wife were walking down Briar Road in the opposite direction, and they witnessed the incident as it occurred. Is that not correct, Mr. and Mrs. Beat?
That's right, sir. Isn't it, Rolly?
Constable Rolly Pizza, nothing to report on the streets, What a great witness he's going to be. I love his theme.
It's really good.
I love how it abruptly stopped.
Very good. I'd like to hear your formal testimonies now, please. I'll tell the court exactly what you saw on the day in the afternoon of the incident.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they have matching scarves. It's to hide their newlywed hickeys.
It was our wedding anniversary and Rowley was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Anyway, 2 silhouettes appeared out of the fog in the pavement in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor, and then the other scattered something before running off. We straight ran over, of course, and then went for help at the nearest police box. Oh, it was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Rowley and I both saw him as clear as day.
It's winter, not in the courtroom.
This is extremely compelling testimony, I must say.
Oh dear. This policeman and his wife are claiming that, to have positively identified Mr. Natsume at the scene. If their testimony is true, the alternative course of events that you established in the summation examination will be quashed.
It's death knell, in fact. Because that alternative was never viable in the first place.
What an unfortunate bit chancing. And on your wedding anniversary, too.
Oh, I know! But I managed to still go out for the evening with my man. Oh, I thank the Lord for that. Gosh, the life of a London bobby sounds very hard indeed.
Indeed. However, this cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may well have the time to rest this afternoon.
What do you mean by that?
My learned friend, the witnesses saw the face of the man fleeing the scene. They are testifying under oath that it was without a doubt the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume. And one of these witnesses is a policeman, no less. So you appreciate the gravity of the situation, I assume.
Except that the man's so tired, his wife has to do all the talking.
Enough preamble. Counsel for the defense, commence their cross-examination, please.
Yes, my lord.
Cute couple Pat and Rolly would like to battle. Cute couple Pat and Rolly sent out Patrat and Roly Coly.
Grand! They do have big Pokemon vibes, don't they?
Pokemon trainers. They might be wearing the same scarf, because like it could go down. You can't definitively see it connect.
If we ever see them from behind.
Yeah. What the witnesses saw.
It was our wedding anniversary and Rowley was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work.
Hold it! No time to change after work, you say? Are you also a member of the police, Mrs. Beat?
Oh no, sadly not. It's a job for strapping young men only. Women, children, and the elderly can't even apply.
Well, I think you can probably see why children and the elderly can't do the job, can't you?
I think Rowley looks ever so handsome in his uniform. It suits you down to the ground, doesn't it, darling?
Oh. What? Yeah, I just finished my beat. Pat and I were heading down to the station. I was actually planning on getting changed there. Is he talking in his sleep? This is creepy.
It's creepy. Oh no, Rowley, I much prefer you in uniform.
Huh?
Sometimes I don't recognize you when I see you in plain clothes. Oh dear, that doesn't seem healthy.
Kindly adhere to the point. You were going for a meal after you'd had finished your beat for the day, correct? Sorry.
That's right, sir, yes. Although I was fit to drop, to be honest, after spending the whole day on my feet. But policing is my life, sir. As long as I'm the proud owner of this, I'll serve my city and my queen to the end. What's that now? My warrant card, sir. Proof that I'm a London copper. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it.
as a reminder to all of us policemen of our sworn duty to patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. Sir!
Sorry.
For such a noble cause,
He's cute.
I cover 20 miles every single day without fail, without a grumble. Because I know that the plodding of my boots is all Londoners need to feel safe and secure.
So, fighting crime doesn't appear to come into it then.
But sir, just one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. B puts up a lot with marrying to a bobby like me.
I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care.
Oh, Rolly.
Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly.
They're so cute.
Oh, what a charming couple. Their young love is such a joy to behold.
If a little over the top, perhaps.
And then kindly describe what happened next.
Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us.
Hold it! 2 silhouettes?
That's right. They were coming up towards us, walking down Briar Road in the opposite direction.
Oh my god.
There was a rather plump figure, followed by a scrawny, thin-looking man. That does sound exactly like the victim is pictured in this print, and like Mr. Natsume.
Yes, unfortunately it does.
And you're certain at the time that there was nobody else nearby?
Oh yes, quite certain. It was dark, but there were streetlights on Briar Road, you see. There was nobody else around at all. Isn't that right, my darling?
Huh? What? Oh, yeah, that's right. Of course, there was a light fog on the ground. But Briar Road is dead straight, and you could see fairly long way down the pavement. And then there's the streetlight as well. I didn't see any other pedestrians.
Before sleep takes a firm hold, your answer, please, Mr. Pete. Are you quite sure of what you've just said?
Yes, sir! As a copper who spends every day, every night, keeping watch on the streets, I swear to it, sir. As I'm sure, as my love for Patricia is true. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly.
Let's skyrockets in flight.
Afternoon delight.
They're still maintaining that there was no one else around, other than the victim and the attacker.
Is that your bobby stick in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
An officer's baton is always at the ready. What do they call those in the UK? I don't know.
I think baton is better than bobby stick.
Oh, I guess so. Bobby stick. It's starting to seem that, it's starting to seem like that must be how it really happened.
It's beginning to seem like there's nowhere to run.
Well, that didn't stop Mr. Natsume, did it? He fled the scene all too convincingly.
Thank you. I believe we have a reasonably clear idea of the situation just before the incident now. What happened in the court, in the crucial moments that followed?
All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor, and then the other scattered something before running off.
Hold it! Scattered something. What do you mean by that?
Oh, well, I couldn't quite make out what it was at the time, but then we got closer and we realized what it was. Didn't we, darling?
What? Oh, yeah, that's right. It was some old books.
I see. Old books.
Yes, sir. The culprit had dropped a number of them all around where the victim lay on the pavement. Yeah.
Indeed, as clearly pictured in this photographic print.
That rotten Japanese man did when he did the deed.
Let's not forget that it remains to be established that the defendant was indeed... Oh, yeah, okay. Let's not forget that it remains to be established that the defendant was indeed the attacker.
Well, we saw him. He was the man in the dock without question, sir. The mustache, the hunchback, cat-like ears, and the top mouth.
Cat-like ears?
Everything. Any more insults you want to throw in?
That's right. He looked down at that poor, defenseless woman with those terrifying, intense eyes. And then he suddenly threw his books onto the pavement and ran away.
I see. This is tough. They seem as though they're telling the truth here.
May I remind the court that this unambiguous testimony comes from a policeman and his wife. Now please continue.
Yes, sir. Good night.
We ran straight over, of course, and then we waited, went for help at the nearest police box.
Was it your husband who went to fetch help?
No, I went. I may not be a police officer myself, but I am a proud wife of one after all. Isn't that right, my darling?
What? Oh, yeah, that's right. I asked Mrs. Beat to go. I was off duty at that point, but Bobby's never truly off duty, of course, so I felt obliged to stay and guard the scene.
Very laudable, Mr. Beat. Preserving the scene of a crime is a task of considerable importance.
That's why I sent Patricia, you see. I told her where to find the right police box. Forgive my ignorance, but what do you exactly mean by the right police box? Depends on a crime's location, you see, as to who deals with it. There was a woman who was stabbed. Where the woman was stabbed wasn't exactly on my beat. So I told Patricia the way to the police box for the beat the incident fell under so she could go and report it.
I ran there as quickly as I could and asked for help from the Bobby on duty. There's nothing more potent than a young couple in love working together, you know.
And thanks to your swift response, the case was quickly resolved. The actions of 2 mortal citizens.
Oh, please! You're making me blush. Isn't he, darling? Making a splash, darling.
Huh? Yes, sir! What Patricia said, sir? Yeah. Let's move on, shall we?
It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Rowley and I both saw him as clear as day.
But surely you wouldn't have been able to see his face by the light of the gas street lamps, would you?
Uh-oh.
We absolutely could. Us Londoners have exceptional eyesight, I'll have you know.
Right.
The light from the street lamps was more than enough. And my husband already showed you that the fog was only light, didn't he?
Yeah, and what of the fog?
We're famous for it across the globe, I believe. But it's an absolute menace to those of us who have to live with it, of course.
Oh, it is. When it's thick, you can't even see the hand in front of you under your own arm.
Oh, God. Yes, all right, I take your point. Now, could you stop shaking your husband about?
The constant fog makes our eyes very sharp, you see. That's why we can tell you for certain that it was that little Japanese man we saw. Can't we, darling?
Oh, no. What? Yes. It was the accused, and no mistake. The mustache, the hunchback, the cat-like eyes, the top mouth, the snub nose. Unmistakable, sir! As far as the couple's testimony is concerned, there can't be any question. It was Soseki-san they saw running away from the scene of the crime.
Bum 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 bum.
So that's it, is it? That's their entire testimony?
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, I hate to admit it, but on hearing the testimony, it really does seem as though Mr. and Mrs. Beat saw what they say they saw. Mr. Natsume running away from the scene on Briar Road that day.
Yes, I feel the same.
So if that's true, where does it leave us?
The members of the jury are sure to call for a guilty verdict after this testimony.
Oh no. Then what do we do?
If Kazuma-sama were here,
What are you trying to say?
I think he would try to find a contradiction somewhere else within their testimony.
Oh, yeah. What do you mean, somewhere else?
Their statement about seeing Mr. Natsume is unequivocal. Calling that into question won't help. But if you could identify some other part of their testimony which appears to contradict the facts, you might be able to discredit them. Make the jury think that they're stupid.
Oh, right.
Put simply, we must focus on finding a discrepancy in the statements somewhere. If we don't, I'm afraid this trial may reach an early and unfavorable conclusion.
Why do I always seem to be so up against it?
Mr. Lawyer, sir, can I ask you something?
Oh, yes, of course. What is it?
Well, you keep asking us all these questions about everything we told you so. It seems like you don't believe our testimony. Is that right? Is it? Well, out with it!
Oh my god. Cute.
What? No. Oh, no, it's not really that at all.
My husband's a policeman, remember? And I know I saw what I saw. And I remember every last detail. Everything. Like... Oh, I know. What about the books the man dropped? I could tell you the names of every single one I could. Every single one.
Oh, do go on.
And you dare to question how reliable my testimony is?
That will do, Mrs. P.
No, it won't do at all! That Japanese lawyer has no idea what I'm capable of. Even if I decide to forgive him for insulting us, I don't think for a moment that Rowley will.
I really didn't mean to cause offense. Please, put your husband's fists down.
Perhaps, you would like the opportunity to supplement your testimony, Mrs. P. Might that, appease you?
Oh, thank you, my lord. That would settle things nicely. Wouldn't it, darling? I could even tell you the names of the 4 books that he dropped at the scene.
4 books?
Yes, we know that there were books dropped at the scene of the crime, as you say.
Those purchased by the accused at the nearby second-hand bookshop on the day in question.
After I'd been to the police box for help, I decided to have a good look over the area for good measure. I'm a proud policeman's wife, after all. I did it for Rowley.
And what was your husband doing at the time?
Oh, he was lying face down in the snow, getting some well-deserved rest. He works ever so hard, you know. Ever so hard. Don't you, my darling?
Interesting way of guarding the scene of the crime.
Well, Mrs. Pete, seeing as how you've regaled the court with the tales of your powers of recollection, would you be so kind as to recount the titles of the books you observed at the scene?
I'd be happy to. Now, are you all listening? There was Microwave Meals for one, and Why Life is Better as a Cat.
What's that yearning?
Then there was Spice Up Your Life with Trying New Methods of Masturbation.
Wow,
And-
you actually got one.
Oh, a meal for someone.
And there was definitely the Thingy Gummies something.
I mean, a meal for someone is definitely like a meal for one, or a microwave
Yeah.
meal for one if microwaves existed.
Right?
You see? Remember everything.
What are you
Yes.
doing? I'm reading the books that I have in my Amazon checkout list. Whatever. What are you going to do about it? Sometimes you need to microwave a meal for one. Sometimes you need to spice things up in the bedroom. Jeez, Chad, judging. Judge, don't yuck someone else's yum. Jeez, Chad.
I see there are 1 or 2 holes in your memory.
Oh well, they were along those lines, I'm quite sure.
There were indeed books found at the scene with titles along those lines, as you put it.
Well, what did I tell you? So I think it's very mean that the way you've been implying that my testimony can't be trusted. Don't you agree, darling?
Anyone who steps on Patricia will have to answer to... Oh.
Terrifying.
Yeah, she really is. So that's it, is it? That's their entire testimony?
What do you think, Mr. Naruto? I feel the same. Oh no, Kazuma-sama, he would make the jury think that those guys were idiots.
let's take a look.
Okay, one of the books is missing, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Or there's a new book added.
Yeah. 4 books, yeah, okay. She was actually kind of pretty close.
Like, really close.
Yeah.
Objection!
So, you're saying that there were 4 books?
That's right. I remember all of them. The picture of Monsieur Somebody, What's It Yearnings, a meal for someone, and the thingy-gummies something.
The thing I'm sorry, Mrs. Beat. But there's a fundamental flaw in that statement of yours.
Oh no! What flaw?
Simply that, at the scene of the crime, there were only 3 books, not 4.
What?
Ooh. This is a receipt from the bookshop where the defendant bought his books.
Your books?
Yes, and it details Mr. Natsume's purchases that day. But as you can see, only 3 books are listed.
Only 3? But no, that can't be. I remember seeing them. There were 4 books, I tell you! 4 dirty old books!
Oh, really? Have a look at this photographic print of the scene of the crime. As you can see, as you can clearly see from the evidence as well, there were only 3 books.
But I just don't believe it. I saw them there, I swear it, I saw them!
No, madam. I'm afraid your powers of observation cannot be relied upon. So it cannot be denied that though you say it was the defendant you saw, you could very well be mistaken.
Oh no! Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no!
Oh, it is 1 scarf.
Objection!
Pinch.
It's plainly evident that it is your powers of deduction that cannot be relied upon, my learned Nipponese friend.
What?
What cannot be denied is that these 2 witnesses saw the accused running from the scene.
No. Chalice, run for your life!
The fact that you know very well you have no hope of disproving.
Run.
So, you've striven to avert attention from that by dint of some inconsequential discrepancies. That would be fair.
I mean, yeah, we are kind of just dunking on her right now. He sees right through me.
But your plan has somewhat recoiled against you.
What are you talking about?
It's quite simple. Let me explain with a toast. To the policeman's wife and her entirely accurate testimony, in every respect.
Oh!
You see, the matter is not up for debate. At the scene on Briar Road, a total of 4 books were most definitely found.
But what about the photographic print? It only shows 3 books.
Quite right, only 3 can be seen in that print.
That print? You mean to say... No!
Allow me to present another, one that shows the victim's hand.
We should start naming the chalices.
That one was Chansey.
I don't believe it.
Oh my
The
god.
Lion's Pride.
Oh my god. That
What does
was
this
the
mean? I know
that was the book that the Garadeb lost in the fire. Things we lost in the fire. It was Lion's Pride, the book. It wasn't though. His wife hated that book because he read it more than her. And so she took it to the bookstore, not the one closest, because she knew he'd go there to look for it again. So she went a little bit farther, just over to your books instead of bourbon books.
We don't have that love note.
As you will observe,
Oh, shit.
the 4th book was hidden from view in the original print by the victim's torso.
No. No!
Order! Order!
There, you see, look at that, look.
Yes.
It's just like I said, isn't it, my darling? Oh.
Yes, sir. Patricia's always right, sir.
Then let us study the receipt for the books purchased by the accused on the day in question. Mrs. Beat, the titles once again, if you please.
Yes, of course. The picture of Monsieur somebody or other.
The picture of Monsieur Lecure.
What's it, yearnings?
Canterbury Yearnings.
A meal for someone.
A meal for Gabiro. In fact. As the court has just heard, the witness remembers the book titles flawlessly, save for a few minor details. Mrs. Beat's power of recollection can only be described as exceptional.
Did you hear that, Rolly? The gentleman paid me a compliment.
Yes, sir. Flawless, sir. Patricia's flawless.
But there are only 3 books on the receipt, and Mrs. Beat mentioned 4.
There's nothing surprising about that. Certainly the 4th book is that which is shown in this photographic print.
I'm sorry, Counsel, but does that not seem odd? Why should the 4th book be omitted from the receipt?
It's not odd at all, my lord. As the photograph clearly shows, the 4th book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, it belongs to the victim.
The victim was holding her own book.
I wonder what became of that 4th book.
Obviously, it wasn't overlooked by the investigating officers of Scotland Yard. I have it here as evidence.
You will submit that and the aforementioned photographic print to the court, please, Counsel.
My pleasure, my lord.
The second crime scene photograph has been entered into the court record. The 4th book has been entered into the court record.
The prosecution rests.
For the day.
Whoa!
The prosecution rests, everybody. Oh, I don't know. Oh, yeah, because I like to save because I'm afraid that... I know it would never, but I might go back to title if I didn't save or whatever, so whatever.
Save
Double
again. Save again. Because you never can be too safe. Save.
Damn. Yeah, it seemed like a good point to pause because I think we're going to have to do some stuff before we get to the next testimony.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Ooh.
But maybe not. Woo boy.
Woo boy.
What a cute couple, though. The characters in this game are fun. Oh, thank you for being here with us, though. It's nice to be back. I hope you all enjoyed your Saturday. I don't want to discuss it too much because spoilers, so don't say anything in chat, but we watched the 4th Evangelion movie, and I personally am very happy with it. I liked it a lot. I enjoyed it very much so. I do recommend seeing those 4 movies if you like robots and anime and stuff. So, I enjoyed that a lot. Oof. It feels so weird that it's like over.
After all this
After all these years from like, yeah. I know it came out in like the 90s, I think, but I don't think I'd watched it until like mid 2000s or something. So it's been like well over 10 years. It's neat. I want to watch them again, even though I watched them recently. Really good. One of my favorites. Feel sad when I do watch it? Yeah. Like, yeah, I was really happy, but I definitely had a bit of that, like, it's over depression, you know? You're like, 95, yeah. Long time. Long time. Play the Tales of Arise demo? I don't know. Maybe not right away. We'll check it out. I'll see. Stay tuned. But what I do know we're doing is playing Neo Tui in about an hour. So it'd be cool if you could be there. When you finish this game, you take a break, or will you go straight to the second game? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how much longer this one is. But But yeah, we'll probably slot something in between. I think that's likely for the best. Because they do seem to be pretty substantial games.
I think it'd be cool to do like just a short one, only because the two games are connected plot-wise, so as to not forget too much stuff. But a little, maybe like a week or two.
Yeah. So who knows? We'll see.
Oh, a Rise demo does not keep progress into the full game.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, I'm tempted to check it out. We'll see. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we don't play through the full thing and we just, you know, do a bit to check it out. Might be cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyways, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing you soon or tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Bye. Love you. Bye.
Bye.